It's an attack!
Pathetic Earthlings! Who can save you now?
Flash Gordon is one of the strangest sci-fi action movies ever made. And today we're diving into 20 weird facts you didn't know about this cult classic.
Let the combat begin! To the death!
Fact 1. George Lucas wanted to make Flash Gordon before he ever dreamed of Star Wars. In the mid-1970s, Lucas tried to buy the rights to Flash Gordon, hoping to create a modern sci-fi epic out of the old comic strips and serials. Producer Dino De Laurentiis said no, refusing to hand the character over. So Lucas made his own space opera instead, Star Wars. When Star Wars blew up into the biggest hit of all time, Dino decided to cash in by finally making his own Flash Gordon. Ironically, the movie Lucas couldn't make inspired him to create Star Wars, which in turn pressured Dino to rush out Flash Gordon. Without Star Wars, Flash Gordon 1980 probably wouldn't exist. Fact 2. The first director was Nicholas Roeg, who made The Man Who Fell to Earth. Roeg spent a year developing Flash Gordon into a serious, surreal, and almost metaphysical story. His vision was trippy and high concept, with Flash portrayed as a kind of cosmic messiah, and Roeg quit. Dino wanted bright costumes, camp, and pulp action. When he pitched this to Dino De Laurentiis, Dino hated it. He bluntly said, "I don't want to make that picture, an art house sci-fi drama." Roeg's departure set the stage for a completely different tone, one that veered into camp legend. Fact 3. Dino tried to hire Federico Fellini, one of the most respected art house directors in the world, to make Flash Gordon. The collaboration never happened, but as a wink to this odd chapter, the movie actually gives Princess Aura a pet creature named Fellini. Instead of a serious Italian masterpiece, Dino eventually hired Mike Hodges, who was known for the gritty gangster film Get Carter. Putting him in charge of a neon-colored space opera was an odd choice, but it was all part of the chaos that made Flash Gordon unique.
Death is certain, but only after tortured madness.
Fact 4. Even the script translation was absurd. Dino didn't trust the original English script and had it translated into Italian by his personal translator. The problem? The translator was terrible. One line that said, "The tall, beautiful woman walked into the room," came back as, "Oh, what a beautiful cat." Dino didn't even care. He said he only wanted the basic story, not to be fooled by the words. This nonsense translation system explains why the dialogue is sometimes so strange. Lines that sound bizarre in English may have been filtered through Dino's translator first. Fact 5. Once filming started, the production was pure chaos. The movie cost $27 million, but there was barely a real shooting schedule. Sets were built without warning, scenes were rewritten on the fly, and the British and Italian crews could barely communicate. Director Mike Hodges often arrived not even knowing what he'd be filming that day. He later joked that Flash Gordon was the only improvised $27 million movie ever made. The lack of planning is why so much of the film feels like they made it up as they went along, because they actually did. Fact 6. Casting Flash Gordon was a roller coaster. Dino first wanted Kurt Russell, but Russell turned it down, saying the character was too one-dimensional. A young Arnold Schwarzenegger was considered, but his thick Austrian accent killed the idea. The role finally went to Sam J. Jones, a former Marine with barely any acting experience. Dino find him on TV. Jones had appeared as a contestant on The Dating Game, where he actually lost the date. But Dino saw him, liked his look, and called him in the next morning. Just like that, the unknown Jones was Flash Gordon. Fact 7. Sam J. Jones was cast mostly for his body. Dino called him a blonde, buff American boy in great shape and even capable of acting. Jones had appeared in a small part in the Bo Derek comedy 10 and even posed for Playgirl magazine, but nothing prepared him for carrying a $30 million space opera. The producers even tried to make him look more like the comic strip hero by asking him to wear bright blue contact lenses. But Jones couldn't read his lines with them in, so the plan was scrapped. His eyes stayed brown, but his square jaw and physique were enough to satisfy Dino. Fact 8. Dale Arden, played by Melody Anderson, was basically kidnapped into the movie. Anderson was planning a move from New York to Los Angeles for a TV role when Dino decided she had to play Dale. He put her on a plane to London that same night. Anderson later said it was like she'd been kidnapped. Dino didn't give her a choice. She arrived in England and was thrown straight into production as the female lead. Fact 9. Nobody told the actors it was supposed to be a comedy. Director Mike Hodges insisted the cast play it completely straight, like they were in a serious drama. Sam Jones, Melody Anderson, Max von Sydow, and the rest all delivered their lines with total sincerity, even when the lines were insane. Early test screenings had audiences laughing at the over-the-top dialogue. Dino De Laurentiis was horrified. He thought people were mocking the film. He even reshot Dale's post-victory cheerleading scene to make it less silly. But the deadly serious performances only made the movie funnier. And that straight-faced camp is exactly why Flash Gordon became a cult classic. Fact 10. The football fight scene was totally improvised. In Ming's throne room, Flash grabs a giant egg and starts using it like a football, tackling guards while Dale cheers him on from the sidelines. None of this was in the script. Sam J. Jones and Melody Anderson came up with it on the spot. Since Flash was written as a New York Jets quarterback, Sam said, "Why don't I play football with one of these eggs?" Melody added, "Then I'll be a cheerleader." The director liked the idea, rolled the cameras, and history was made. The ridiculous football fight became one of the most memorable parts of the movie. Fact 11. Shooting the flying scenes was miserable. For the rocket cycle sequences, actors were strapped to wires with wind machines blasting them while surrounded by total darkness. Melody Anderson recalled hanging in the air with no sets, no miniatures, and no models, just empty black space and bright studio lights. The director yelled, "Look up! You see the Sky Palace!" But all she saw were cables. It was early blue screen technology, and the actors had to imagine everything. This pioneering method made it hard to act convincingly, but it gave the movie its surreal, otherworldly look. Fact 12. The Hawkmen's costumes were torture devices. Each Hawkman wore a harness with giant feathered wings attached. The wings were so big and stiff that the actors couldn't sit in chairs. During breaks, dozens of Hawkman extras lay face down on the floor like crash-landed birds, wings sticking up behind them. Melody Anderson said walking around set and seeing a room full of prone Hawkmen was one of the funniest sights of the entire production. Fact 13. Brian Blessed, who played Prince Voltan, couldn't stop making sound effects. During the battle scenes, Blessed would fire his laser bazooka prop while yelling pew, 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 like a little kid. Sam J. Jones joined in with his own pew-pew noises while shooting his pistol. The director had to remind them that the sound effects would be added later, but they couldn't stop themselves. It got so bad they had to reshoot parts of the War Rocket Ajax battle because the raw audio was full of pew-pews. The finished scene looks epic, but behind the scenes it sounded like a children's game. Fact 14. A deleted scene turned Dale into a spider monster. Ming was supposed to make Flash hallucinate that Dale had transformed into a green-skinned spider creature with fangs and multiple eyes. Melody Anderson spent 4 hours in makeup covered in green paint, a huge prosthetic headpiece, and glass eyeballs. They filmed 6 hours of footage of her attacking Flash, but when the director watched the scene, he realized it had nothing to do with the story and cut it. All that remains are behind-the-scenes photos of Spider-Dale, one of the weirdest deleted scenes ever filmed. Fact 15. The dueling disc fight between Flash and Prince Barin had a paint problem. The platform was spray-painted metallic silver, but the paint never sealed properly. When Sam Jones and Timothy Dalton wrestled on it, the silver rubbed off all over their faces and arms. After each take, they had to be wiped down and repainted before filming resumed. By the end of the day, both actors looked like they had been dipped in silver paint. Fact 16. The biggest drama came after filming. Sam J. Jones had a major falling out with Dino De Laurentiis and the producers. There were fistfights, hospital visits, and finally, Sam quit. He left before post-production and refused to return. The filmmakers had to use a body double for pickup shots and, most shocking of all, an uncredited voice actor to dub many of his lines. According to Jones himself, most of Flash's dialogue in the final movie isn't even his real voice. Flash Gordon became a $30 million blockbuster finished without its star. Fact 17. Flash Gordon was meant to start a franchise. The ending teases Ming's survival and flashes the words, "The end?" Sam Jones had signed a contract for sequels. But when the movie underperformed in America, Dino scrapped the plans. Jones even sued, demanding Dino either make the sequels or pay him out. He lost the case. Flash Gordon remained a one-off, making its cliffhanger ending one of the strangest franchise teases in movie history. Fact 18. Queen wasn't the first choice for the soundtrack. Director Mike Hodges wanted Pink Floyd, but that fell through. When Queen's manager approached Dino, Dino had never even heard of them. He said, "Who are the Queens?" But once he listened, he agreed. Queen loved the campy footage and threw themselves into the project. The result was one of the most unique soundtracks in cinema history. Fact 19. Queen did something no other band had done at the time. They wove dialogue and sound effects from the movie into the soundtrack itself. Roger Taylor suggested cutting Ming's lines, laser blasts, and Flash's screams into the music to make the songs part of the story. The album even plays like an audio movie. The main theme, with Freddie Mercury belting "Flash, ah," became a hit single. The soundtrack has outlived the movie itself, remaining one of Queen's most iconic contributions to pop culture. Fact 20. Freddie Mercury himself designed the Flash Gordon logo. Mercury had studied graphic design in college and famously created Queen's crest logo. When the production needed a title logo, Mercury took charge. He sketched the now famous red and yellow lettering split by a lightning bolt. That design appears on the opening credits and the album cover. It's one of the rare times the lead singer of a band not only wrote the soundtrack, but also created the visual branding for the film. And those were 20 weird facts you didn't know about Flash Gordon, a movie born from chaos, saved by Queen, sabotaged by feuds, and reborn as a cult classic. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Pure Action Films for more explosive facts about the strangest and greatest action movies ever made.